The film begins in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. A team of marine biologists, led by Sophia and her spouse Chris, are on a mission to help the sperm whales affected by plastic waste. During that time, they receive a signal from a shark they've been tracking for the past year. Realizing it is swiftly approaching, 4 divers, including Chris, quickly don their gear and plunge into the water. Sophia monitors their progress from the control room and directs them accordingly. Soon, the divers encounter a sperm whale carcass, seemingly bitten by a large creature. Before they can examine it, a group of sharks suddenly appears, looking frightened, as if fleeing from something. Moments later, a gigantic 7-meter female shark, the same one they've been tracking, emerges. Sophia is astonished by its size, as it was only 2 meters a few months ago. Chris becomes anxious and suggests they retreat, but Sophia insists on obtaining a sample from the shark, which she has named Lilith. Reluctantly, Chris pierces the shark with an arrow, triggering a disastrous reaction. Enraged, Lilith begins circling the divers rapidly. Before they can respond, she attacks ferociously, tearing them apart. Back in the control room, Sophia is horrified by their screams. She grabs a harpoon and jumps into the water to assist them. Upon diving a few meters, she is confronted with the gruesome sight of her husband's severed arm. Then, Lilith charges at her. Sophia narrowly escapes, but the shark becomes entangled in a fishing net and drags her into the ocean depths. The extreme pressure causes her eardrums to burst, making her scream in agony. Before passing out, she cuts the net and manages to reach the surface. The narrative then shifts to 3 years later. Sophia now works at a marine center, still haunted by her husband's death and struggling with the trauma. One evening, she is approached by a young student named Mika, who admires her work. Mika reveals that her group has been tracking the same shark, Lilith, now notorious for killing people. Although Sophia initially wants nothing to do with it, Mika persuades her to visit her private NGO. In the next scene, they arrive at the NGO, where Mika and her friends work for the welfare of aquatic creatures. Sophia meets Ben, a hacker capable of tracking shark tags. Using her computer, Ben reveals that Lilith has strangely entered the Seine River in Paris. Sophia finds it hard to believe, as sharks cannot survive in freshwater. However, Mika explains that some sharks have adapted due to polluted oceans. She suggests freeing the shark before it becomes ill and dies. Mika seeks Sophia's help in communicating with the shark, but Sophia finds the idea absurd and walks away. That evening, curiosity gets the better of Sophia, and she decides to track the shark. To her astonishment, she confirms Lilith has indeed arrived in Paris. Meanwhile, Mika and Ben navigate the Seine, hoping to locate the shark. They stop under a bridge, and Mika decides to dive alone. After some searching, she discovers a car with massive bite marks, confirming Lilith's presence. On the surface, Ben spots the approaching police and signals Mika to return. However, Mika, wanting to explore further, lets go of the rope. She continues her investigation until she senses something large nearby, prompting her to return to the surface in a panic. The police apprehend Mika and take her away. The next morning at the police station, a cop named Adil questions Mika about her activities in the river. She claims she was tracking a shark, but Adil is skeptical. Another officer enters, reporting an emergency. Meanwhile, Sophia is by the river, trying to track the shark. Seeing a child playing near the shore, she warns him to leave. Moments later, Adil and Mika approach her, revealing a homeless man was mauled to death the previous night. They show her the body, and Sophia immediately recognizes Lilith's work. Adil takes them to the police chief as the situation escalates. Despite their insistence, the chief dismisses the idea of a giant shark in the Seine. She demands proof first. Adil and his team decide to dive into the river to find the shark. Sophia tries to stop them, offering to track it with her device, but Adil insists on capturing photographic evidence. They arrive at the tracking location, and 3 divers descend. They soon find a massive dead fish, partially eaten. Meanwhile, Mika, watching from a distance, fears they plan to kill the shark. She contacts Ben, asking her to disable the tracking device. Reluctantly, Ben uses her hacking skills to comply. The divers, sensing something enormous nearby, panic but are called back by Sophia and Adil when the tracking device suddenly stops working. The divers report feeling the shark's presence despite not seeing it. Adil checks the sonar recording and confirms Lilith's presence. That evening, Mika goes live on social media, urging the public to save the shark before it succumbs to illness. Meanwhile, Adil, Sophia, and the police chief meet with the mayor. An international triathlon is scheduled to take place soon, with thousands of participants expected. Sophia warns about the deadly shark and suggests canceling the event. The mayor, however, refuses, citing the substantial investment already made. She orders the police to resolve the issue within 24 hours. Since killing the shark would be unethical, the group plans to catch it alive. Sophia proposes that they lure it near the bridge and administer it with sedatives. Once it falls unconscious, they can transport it to the National Marine Center. As the group continues discussing, Ben suddenly arrives there with a worried look on her face. She reveals that the shark is actually resting near the catacombs, a section of the city full of bones of the dead. Ben claims that her friend Mika has gone crazy, as she is planning to lead a group of activists towards the catacombs. She wants to use sonar to lure the shark and somehow rescue it. Ben also explains that she has reactivated its tracker, so now they can know the shark's exact location. That evening, Sophia and the cops reach the catacombs through a damaged access point. They soon come across the crazy activists who have surrounded a large pool where the shark is currently at. Mika even dives inside the water with a sonar, adamant on rescuing the animal. Sophia and Adil shout at her to get out, but she refuses. Soon enough, a large fin starts encircling her, leaving everyone terrified. But they become even more shocked when a second, smaller fin shows up. This shockingly means only one thing. Lilith has given birth to an offspring. The baby shark then approaches Mika, and she pets it as if it were a dog. She claims that the animals are harmless and they need help. At this point, Adil realizes that an attack is incoming, so he immediately jumps into the water to rescue the girl. He manages to grab her, but she yanks him away and swims further. The next second, Lilith jumps out of the water and attacks Mika, killing her in a satisfying fashion. The onlooking people are horrified and they start running for their lives haphazardly. During the chaos, several activists as well as cops fall into the water. Most of them are killed right away, while some have their arms and legs amputated. Poor Ben also slips and falls into the pool. As she tries to climb up, she accidentally gets kneed in the head. This knocks her out and she ends up drowning. Meanwhile, Lilith also tears apart her offspring, probably because it was touched by the human earlier. In the aftermath of this massacre, the injured people are rushed to the hospital. Sophia and the cops then investigate the dead shark and learn that it has actually adapted to fresh water. Furthermore, when Sophia opens its belly with a scalpel, she discovers several babies inside. This shocks her to the core, as the shark was only a month itself. Upon conducting some further research, Sophia learns that the animal is reproducing by parthenogenesis, meaning it does not need a male partner. It then finally dawns on her that Lilith is a completely new species that they were unaware of. She tells Adil that if they don't eliminate it, the sharks will infest the oceans and destroy everything. Later, the two pay a visit to the mayor's office and explain the situation to her. However, with only 24 hours remaining for the event, the mayor refuses to call it off. She instead says the military will handle the security and there'll be nothing to worry about. Adil and Sophia are enraged by her lack of understanding, so they decide to take matters into their own hands. That evening, at the police station, they gather all the cops and also summon 2 bomb specialists. The plan is simple: to go underwater and blow up the goddamn monsters. In the next scene, Adil and Sophia reach the location where the shark was last located and dive inside the water. A team observes their movement from the boat, providing them with instructions. They have brought with them a propeller, lights, and even a sonar device to keep the sharks in one place. They continue swimming for several minutes until they finally come across Lilith's breeding spot. To their utmost shock, they notice not one but thousands of baby sharks lurking around. Elsewhere, the triathlon competition is about to begin, and a large number of people have gathered at the shore. The mayor talks to the reporters and assures them that there's nothing to worry about. She then confidently initiates the competition, prompting hundreds of swimmers to dive into the water. Back in the water, Sophia and Adil proceed with the mission and turn on the sonar device. The bomb specialists then get to work and start attaching the explosives. However, when one of them tries to press the detonator, he is immediately attacked and torn to shreds by the baby sharks. Sophia urges everyone to stay still, as it is the only way they can remain undetected. However, the second bomb specialist panics and decides to press the detonator anyway. This attracts the sharks towards him, resulting in his painful death. Now, with seconds remaining on the clock, Sophia uses the propeller and drags Adil from the danger. They manage to make it out just in time, as the bomb explodes and kills all the baby sharks. Upon reaching the surface, Sophia helps Adil onto the boat, but swims back again to inspect something. Just then, the mother shark emerges out of the rubble, scaring the life out of her. Sophia quickly reaches the surface and tries to warn the others about the danger, but it is too late. The massive shark launches the boat in the air, sending everyone flying. It then devours all the cops one after another, until Sophia and Adil are the only ones remaining. The two quickly climb onto the overturned boat, but the shark doesn't come after them. It instead heads towards the triathlon, where hundreds of humans are swimming in the open river. Then, in a horrifying turn of events, Lilith begins attacking the swimmers one after another. The onlooking spectators and reporters can only watch as the water soon turns red. A few moments later, the military show up and begin firing at the shark. Adil and Sophia urge them to stop, but they are too far away to be heard. Meanwhile, the mother shark dodges all the bullets using her incredible speed and awareness. Adil and Sophia are finally rescued after a while, but the army doesn't stop their shooting. Unfortunately, they hit some explosives, which were dropped here during the Second World War. A massive eruption then ensues, blowing up the bridge and causing the water level to increase significantly. Hundreds of onlookers are smoked by the explosion, while the others are swept away by the flood. In no time, the entire city is submerged in water, resulting in the loss of countless lives. In the final scene, Sophia drags an unconscious Adil through the wreckage, noticing several baby sharks lurking nearby. With Paris devastated and the threat of further havoc from the sharks looming, their future remains uncertain. And with that, the movie ends. I hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for amazing videos. See you in the next one.